Good morning. This is another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast, number 102. We're going a little bit out of order because we wanted to make sure we got this out today. This is our first emergency podcast. And when
Emergency.
it is, the world's on fire, Sarah, and we both felt that it was necessary to get this out today as soon as possible. So as soon as we're done shooting this, I'm going to upload it. What we're talking about is that over the weekend, I was doing some research, and there's a lot of financial advisors out there right now telling their clients to put their eggs in one basket and dump out of their 401ks, their bank accounts, their annuities, and putting it all into Bitcoin.
You didn't tell me the bank account when you were telling me the information. So
Yes.
the thing that bothers me is even if just removing the bank accounts, because that's a whole other issue. 401k you pull out, it's going to affect the stock market. You're going to have to pay a penalty if you're not of retirement age, and you're going to have to pay capital gains and more penalties by the IRS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cashing out your annuity, same thing. You're going to have a penalty for pulling it out early, and then you're going to have to pay capital gains on that if you have a gain, of course.
Right.
And then Bitcoin is unstable, to me, anyways. Or any currency, like I call it fake currency just because I can't hold it. Any digital currency is going to be fluctuation. When you check your bank balances or credit cards, it's actually based off of money spent or money received. It's a little bit, anyways, we're not going to go into that. But one is you're forcing the stock market to crash if everybody accepts this and just goes hog wild and pull all their money out. So then you're causing a depression. You're causing the stock market to crash. And God knows how bad it's going to be, depending on how many people actually listen to these ill-advised financial advisors, because they're freaking out. And if your advisor is giving you this information, I suggest talking to other people, talking to another advisor, talking to the person who does your taxes, because it's never going to be the same people who's advising you about 401ks who also does taxes, and talk about them, get all of the information before you just do a knee-jerk reaction, because it's going to cause a major issue. And then what happens if you do all this, you throw it into fake currency, I keep saying fake currency, and digital currency, what's going to end up happening is if what they are saying, if there are the rumors that are going on, doesn't happen, you have no money in your bank account. You have no money in your retirement account. You have no more money in your annuities. You're going to have to pay money out the wazoo when you file your taxes. Like there's just so many issues with that. And I don't like making decisions based on fear. I like making it based on facts. And I did mention to you too, when 9/11 happened, there were reports that they knew what was going to happen. They knew the day it was going to happen. They knew a lot more information. Of course, they didn't know what kind or where exactly in the world it was going to happen, but they had enough information. If they had made steps to fix it, it wouldn't have happened. And you were mentioning that the information they have is regarding
we have an imminent strike coming.
Right.
I'm not saying what it is. But,
right. And I can understand not saying what it is, because then they know that you know. But the problem that comes into it is they are also, if they know about it, if it's getting leaked, they're putting stuff in place to prevent it.
And it's not one outlet. They're all reporting this right now. And I think what the first thing I thought of, Sarah, was knee-jerk reaction. You know, a lot of these funds, they weren't made to be bounced around like a lot of the younger folks and even older folks are shorting Bitcoin. Meaning, I mean, do you know what that means, Sarah? Basically, what it is, say I take $100,000, I throw it into Bitcoin today, take it out tomorrow, no matter what. I might make money, I might lose money, but I'm going to take it out. And it's funny, I was clicking on a couple different things in my head when you were talking about banks. I mean, number one, every bank account in America is insured for $250,000 under FDIC. Bitcoin isn't. Chime isn't. What's the other one? Venmo isn't. You know, and we both know that. I mean, you can transfer over the limit on a Venmo transfer is $20,000. So if you have that kind of money in there and you're transferring money and it's over 250,000 and you get hacked and it's gone, guess what? It's gone. It's gone forever. Same thing with Bitcoin. Whether you're storing on the web, you're storing on a Bitcoin locker or a Bitcoin wallet, they call it, and you misplace it or someone hacks that and takes it, it's gone. And the last thing I'm going to say about banks, when you started talking about this and everybody taking their money out and putting it into Bitcoin, I mean, aren't you kind of causing a run on the banks?
Yes. And that's one of the things that I was mentioning. So here's the other problem. So Bitcoin, and I'm only looking at 6 months. The lowest was about 39,000 per Bitcoin. Now it's up to 62, almost 63,000. So how do you know it? Unless I'm only saying Bitcoin because you're saying Bitcoin, it could be any
huge
of the other.
Swing.
But if you're
we'll go with crypto.
Yeah, crypto. But if you purchase the item at the highest amount, how do you know that's not going to drop and then you lose everything? Because unlike normal stocks, you lose money until what you invested is gone. Bitcoin does the same thing, but it keeps going negative. And it's a very volatile place to have your money. So a few years ago, I didn't put much. I think it was like $50, $100 in Bitcoin because I was just trying to see if it was worth putting more. That was my test. And I went to go sell it. And within the time frame of me pushing the button to the computer selling, it gained 2 cents.
Wow.
But I can't sell the 2 cents. I have to invest more money to get it over a certain threshold and then try pushing the button again and hoping that doesn't happen again in either direction. Because if it loses more than what I'm trying to take, it won't let it go through. And if it gains more, I'm in the same situation. So I'm like, screw it. I have 2 cents in Bitcoin. I'm never getting that back. I don't even care because it's 2 cents.
Right.
Unless it starts making $1 million per share and then I have some money.
And I think we talked about this once before. Banks are trying to be so competitive right now because especially places like Texas, you have so many people coming from California and New York that they can buy a home here a lot cheaper than what they had and still have money left over. So the banks aren't making money on loans any longer because it's a lot of cash deals. So some of them are so competitive right now. If you put $10,000 in a bank in Texas, I don't know how it is in New York anymore, but they're going to give you 6% interest on your savings account. And that's unheard of.
No, I know. Well,
that's crazy.
The other thing, the reason I say always check around, when the war in Ukraine started, I had some money that was for the kids in an account, and they dealt with a lot of stuff that would have been affected by that war. Because I know the wars, everybody freaks out with that. And I had mentioned when the news first dropped, like, hey, I want to move. I still want to stay in the stock market, but I don't want those accounts. Like, I do want to move it from those accounts. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll even out. It never evened out. I ended up having the loss. I ended up closing the account and just moving it into a savings account for kids. If you don't feel like that your wealth advisor doesn't have your financial interests at heart, or if they're not listening to you, I would say find another one. You need to have a really good, close relationship to the people who mess with your money, and they're going to give you the best advice for yourself. So if you have that fear of like, hey, I'm really worried, this is what's being said, this is what, I don't want to freak out and do a knee-jerk reaction, but I want to make sure my money is safe.
100%.
Then yes, they may say, hey, instead of those accounts, let's transfer to this, or let's There are other ways, like you could pull it out of the stock market itself and put it into money markets, still within your 401k, where your 401k doesn't drop. That still will cause issues with the stock market, because here's the other thing. Okay, this has happened with every single time the stock market goes down. Everybody pulls their money out, the stocks drop. The rich people buy the stock market goes back up. And who's making money? Because it's not the everyday people who pulled their money out.
Right.
Because they put it in something else that they can't easily pull back out and apply to it. So it's one of those things.
Before I forget, Sarah, because we jumped into this pretty quick because we're both a little bit heated on this morning, that all the comments and comments by Sassy Sarah and Eddie Buffalo are purely for entertainment purposes. And it ain't very entertaining when I'm talking about something like this, but do your thing too, Sarah.
Like, subscribe, follow, share, bother Eddie on TikTok because I find it funny. I also have a TikTok, but I only have Eddie as a friend, and it's Sassy Sarah at Eddie Buffalo Shirts or whatever. I don't even remember because I never get on. But if you want to start messing with that profile and messaging stuff like that, I may eventually get it. Eddie's always on. He has no life.
And you know, it's really funny, Sarah, that we got into this. I mean, I got into it so I could expand my business, and you saw the value in that. Do you know that podcasts are one of the recession proof on the list of financial advisors of businesses to go into?
Oh, really?
You know?
Okay.
I was shocked to see that, to be quite honest with you. So,
well, I guess I can kind of see, because podcasts everybody listens to because of the audio. And then some people are able to just stream and watch the video. So it kind of makes sense. I wanted to also tell you, because I told you the chaos that ensued over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the jokes was Aiden and I were talking, and somehow he saw something, and it came into like why I like dad jokes and the stupidest of jokes of all time, right? And he brought up the rainbow joke. He made a new one off of that joke. And I'm going to tell you, and it's just as stupid because you need the explanation. But I find it hilarious. So, what's at the end of a rainbow?
Do you want me to do the punchline, or you want me to make some stuff up?
Make some stuff up. It's fine.
I think it's a sparkly unicorn carrying a chest of gold on both sides of its saddlebags, and it's saying, "Yeehaw! I love Sassy Sarah."
That works because actually it's owl, because it's the last two letters of the rainbow, and the rainbow crushed your stupid sparkling unicorn. I mean, it's not as funny as the original.
This is like the second time she's told it on a podcast, and the emergency might be that we have to have an intervention with Sarah not to tell her jokes anymore. I think that.
Oh no! I'm going to start researching jokes, and randomly, I'm just going to tell you the worst joke ever.
I'm going to toot Sarah's horn. Because reach out to us at www.ebiagency.com, 716-306-2020. It's a good investment. You might want to learn how to do podcasting. Who better to do it than somebody that's successful at it? And if you want a proposal, we'll get it right out to you. And you can even talk to Sassy Sarah.
You're horrible. And I was going to say, if you like dad jokes too, send them to Eddie.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. No.
Yeah.
So, well, basically, I wanted to keep this short and to the point today because I want to make sure we can upload it really quick. Just be careful out there, folks. Don't make a knee-jerk reaction, and don't listen to one guy. Don't listen to me. Ask people if what I'm saying makes any sense. I mean, I might like messing around, but when it comes to my clients' finances, I want to treat it just like mine. And I want to make sure that my people hold on to every dime that they have invested. There's a lot of safe stuff out there. I mean, I get it, big risk, big reward, but you know what? the way the world is right now, I wouldn't want to roll them dice right now.
Right.
You know. So I thank you very much, Sarah, for coming on today. I think this was very valuable to everybody. I mean, especially with the whole capital gains, that you're going to get hurt. And, these advisors aren't going to say, oh, let's worry about your capital gains. You might get a 1080 on that, 1090, 1026. Let's go 10, 20, 20. Smokey and the Bandit. Get it? No, whatever. You got to go pee, Sarah. You got to go pee 1020.
Oh, goodness.
So by the way, Donnie's not here because he's traveling with his family until Wednesday. So I'm sure he's going to be watching this, and I'm sure he would have wished he could have been out here to talk about this. But like I said, we're going to keep Mondays and Fridays open in case anything like this ever happens again. So tune in tomorrow to Tax Tips with Sassy Sarah. Tax Questions Podcast. And then Wednesday, we got our 100th episode, which was a lot of fun. And Thursday for the 4th of July, we have our, I want to say bicentennial. It is our Salute to America with the great American retired Lieutenant Colonel James Gregory Traves. So please take the words, take it with a grain of salt, think about it. Do your research, make sure your money's safe. And if you like doing business with people that are just like you, we're the people to see. And that's www.ebiagency.com, 716-306-2020. And you can go right to the partner tab right on the front page to get Sassy Sarah. And if you need a lawyer, you can hit up, oh my God, I'm having a brain. Nathan the law guy and Abby the law lady right on the partner page also. And I don't want people to think I'm trashing Bitcoin, because you can get Bitcoin through our site too. Just please be cautious, and like I said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So for Eddie Buffalo and Sassy Sarah, be safe, be smart, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.
Bye.